Hi, everybody. It's me, Dee Dee. I'm here with Nymphadora.
Hello.
And she's got some interesting things about travelers. And I know that for those of you that have been with me for years, you may remember this older lady I knew that lived in Manhattan that I was able to get a ton of her storage units from. And she had the son. And her son was kind of like really nasty. But this lady was a traveler. And I understood that she was able to live like almost forever until she decided to go. But I never really knew the depth of exactly what a traveler was. And we're not talking about gypsies here. It's a totally different thing. And I'm going to let Nymphadora explain that.
Okay, so travelers, that's just part of what they're called. That's a special type of entity, the travelers. So what it is a lot of people have problems in their lives that they just want to get away from. They have traumas that they've had. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? You are dying over there. What are you doing?
Really, I'm just thinking about like, again, that Florida thing, right? It was like the boobs. I was messing around with you going in and out of the boobs. And then there they were. And I just
Dee
made
Dee's
me
so
laugh.
bad.
I'm sorry.
She's terrible.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure you guys love it, but Dee Dee's bad. So anyway, what it is like people have different traumas in their life, and it doesn't necessarily have to be it doesn't necessarily have to be in this life. It could be from a past life as well. And you may not understand why you have some of the feelings you have, and they could be from a past life. So sometimes people just feel like, I want to get away, or I don't want to feel this anymore. And there could even be some people that are afraid of the afterlife and don't want to experience the afterlife. And they push themselves away so far that they actually become a whole nother entity. And it's kind of like you distancing yourself from your soul or your spirit. And so one of them is
that can't be very common though, is it?
It's more common than you would think. It's not something that happens, 1 out of every 10 people or something, like a statistic like that. But it is a lot more common than people would imagine it would be. Yes. So
so this is almost like a form of immortality that you bring upon yourself.
Yes, it's all about willpower. All about willpower. Yes. Yeah, it's
that's either a strong mind or a broken mind.
Exactly. And like I said, a lot of it has to do with some kind of trauma where people just want to get away so bad that they end up pushing themselves away from their own soul.
Now, is the trauma always have to do in this life, or does it span various lives and take a formation in this life, and so it's just so strong?
It could be different ones. Yep. It could be something that just happened. Say you've seen, a child die or something like that. It could be something, from a past life. It could be something that goes way back to some of our people that are pre-Earth. It's not necessarily known on what it is that pushes you to that point. I guess it's just a mix. You don't necessarily know, okay, this was from a past life and that's why I'm pushing myself away or something like that. So it's a mix of things. Sometimes it's a mix of things from just this life. Sometimes it's a mix of things from this life and other lives. It's a mix of things.
Okay.
So what it is the travelers are actually very they can do a lot of things. They can travel to other dimensions. They can travel in time. A big part of it is traveling to alternate universes. If you've ever had experiences where you were, saved from somebody, I know a lot of videos out there now have where an angel came and saved me, or this happened and I've never seen that person again in my life. Those were probably travelers. Travelers are very good people most of the time. There are bad ones, but the good ones are there to help people, to help, kind of make things better. And then you have your bad travelers that are just out there to cause ruckus and just make things a mess. And they actually get stopped by other good travelers, and angels and things like that will actually stop the bad travelers before things get really far out of control.
Now, the traveler lady that I knew, she was an older woman.
Okay.
So, I don't know when she became one.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I mean, I would have to assume and you would probably know better than I, that she was older when I knew her. She had a grown son. Her grown son was like 40 years old.
Okay.
So that tells you how old, she
probably
was.
Like 60, 70 something. Yeah,
she was at least, she looked to me to be about 70 years old.
Okay.
Now, being 70 years old, did she just at that time become a traveler, or was she, or do travelers age? Because I know there's
some that do.
Okay, so only some.
Some. I guess it's more along your willpower of what you want, I guess.
And I couldn't, figure out, hearing this and hearing how this happens, what would her traumatic event be? But I do remember her son. Mm-hmm. And for those of you, again, that have been with me for years, if you go back, if you go on the hauntedcuriosities.com website, maybe you can type in the word traveler or travelers, and there may be some things that come up, and you'll probably read about her. But when you read in there, I do remember writing about her son because it was so shocking to me the way he had treated her. Like, I deal with so many items, I don't remember them all. Like, I'll have to tell somebody, all right, I got to go pull the file.
Right.
That is not one of them I ever have to pull the file on. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have to do that. There's pieces that I got in Philadelphia, in the middle of the city, in the middle of Jewelers Row, actually.
Okay.
That I will never have to pull a file on because I've done radio shows on this. I've discussed it before. I've never sold a piece from there, ever. They've always been kept for me. And like some of my customers, like I can name some of them. I won't give their last names, but there's like Lori, Todd, Mike, Vera. I mean, there's a bunch of people I can name.
Right.
Pat, and I have a lot of different names of these, people. I mean, like I have 50 million Loris, I have 50 million Pat, you know what I mean? But those that I'm talking about, Sonia, these are people that I've talked to on the phone. Like, they'll know that I'm speaking to them in this video. They will know about that time in Philadelphia and know that I told them that I was standing there. I had a pure psychic vision. Everything moved. I couldn't see anything around me. The entire city was gone. And I had a vision of Lindy getting hit by a taxi, and she was killed. And she was overlooking inside this Jewelers Row window, and she came over to me, and I instantly put my hand out. Just as she sat down, the van just, whizzed by. Yeah, I mean, not a van, it was a taxi, but he would have killed her. At the moment that I put my hand down to move her, everything stopped. People were walking in a crosswalk on the other side, and they were frozen. Everyone was frozen but me. You didn't hear a sound.
Right.
And I looked up in the sky. The only thing moving in the entire planet, universe, whatever, dimension I had slipped into, who the hell knows, was the sky. The sky was moving. And a hole opened up. Kind of like if clouds parted.
Okay.
Not like a tornado or a dimensional thing, but it's like clouds moved and created like a perfect whole circle. And this lasted, like, I will never forget it in all my life. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 seconds. And in that amount of time, you felt like you were the only person on the universe. Now, people may not believe it. If they don't believe it, I don't blame them. Because it's a crazy story. Right. I mean, it really is. It's insane. And at the end of that 4 seconds, like on the 5th second, everything started moving again. The people, but they did not know they had been stopped.
Right.
They did not know they were frozen. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew anything.
It's fascinating. Yeah.
It was like, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, I really, really don't.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I never told anybody is, again, I mean, you can go back and listen to those radio shows. Like, I'm not making it up. We were in Jewelers Row. And I come out of a store because I needed to get this stone tested. It was a ruby. It was a special stone, very, very special stone, that actually this lady had given me before she died. Okay. And she goes, go and have this looked at. She goes, you need to have it tested in some kind of water vat.
Yeah.
That jewelers do. Mm-hmm. It's some kind of tube that they put gemstones in. So that's actually what we were there for. And as I come out of the jewelry store, before I had walked in, there was this guy, and he kept staring at me. And I thought it was just my big ass, to be honest with you. It's like, oh, he's checking out the butt. What about, whatever. So I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. But he's looking at me. He's looking at me hard. Oh my God, I almost said something that is so politically incorrect. I just better not. But anyway, he's looking at me real hard. Like, I know he's checking this butt out. Like, I know he is. But, you know, he was looking at my face. He was, I mean, just staring hard. And then I went into the jewelry store, which was on a corner. So it's kind of like an octagon there. And I'm looking at stuff. I'm waiting for the guy to come over because I want to give him this special ruby. And I see the guy outside the window. I didn't let him know that I knew he was looking, but he was. And then when I walked out, he came up to me and he said, I have something for you. This is not the only time something like that's happened to me where somebody said, I've had something for you.
Right.
I thought he was going to flash me personally. But, you know, he didn't flash me.
He wasn't lucky that day.
No. And he put these things into my hand. And I don't even want to tell anybody what they were. It was jewelry. And then it was like after that I had these visions, and it was after, you know, I really need to do a whole show on this.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. But anyway, that's what happened with that.
He might have been a traveler.
I'm wondering.
He might have been a traveler. Because have you seen him since then?
No, I never have seen him.
Even when you're in Philadelphia? Because I know you go to Philadelphia.
No, never again.
A traveler.
Never again. Let me stop this and go to part 2.